In this section, Frank recalls his first episode of Dad's Army.
It was called The Armoured Might of Corporal Jones. And it had a lot of interesting things about it, that episode. It was the first episode of the third series. It was the first appearance of Pamela Cundell as Mrs. Fox. It was the first episode in which Jones's van appeared as the platoon armoured vehicle, as it were. And at the end, there is a very nice little cameo from a young actor, very well known now, but not really well known then, called Nigel Hawthorne. So it's really quite an important episode, but apart from the fact that it was my first one.
In 1971, Frank starred in the Dad's Army feature film, and here are some memories about that production.
And of course, we didn't only do Dad's Army on television, we did a feature film where actually Chalfont St Giles stood in for Warmington-on-Sea, whereas in the television series it had always been in Norfolk, but Chalfont St Giles was Warmington-on-Sea. And I remember the very first day I was on location filming there, a car picked me up and took me to Chalfont St Giles. I got there tremendously early, and so I thought, well, I'll have a wander around the village. And I'm wandering around and thinking, oh, well, yes, this is a very well-chosen location. It hasn't changed since the war. Look at those advertisements in the shop windows, and oh my goodness, there's an advertisement from Craven A, which I remember from wartime. And then it suddenly, when I saw in the middle of this very inland town a little notice saying "to the sea" with an upturned rowing boat, that in point of fact, of course, it had all been got ready for the film anyway. But I mean, it was a fascinating piece of nostalgia, that, watching the old walls stop me and buy one ice cream tricycle coming down, and sort of thinking, gosh, I remember that when I was a boy and all that. So it was fascinating. Of course, when we were there, somebody had to go round and take down all the television aerials that might get into shot, because, of course, they wouldn't be right for the wartime. And then I think he used to go round and put them up every evening, so presumably they could watch Dad's Army on television when they came home.